Hey everyone, welcome back to another recap podcast from SNXweave, where we give quick weekly recaps of news and important updates from the previous week from the Spartan Council, core contributors, and Ambassador Council. Let's get started. Welcome to the new Epic, Spartans. In case you missed it, here are your newly elected councils. Your Spartan Council members for the Epic will be Cavalier, Cyberduck, Fenway, FIFA, ML Sudo, Rayzu, Synthaman, and 0x3776. Serving the community on the Treasury Council this epic will be Cocaine, Slinky, 256 Ben, and 0x27cc. And lastly, your ambassadors for the coming epic will be Gunboats, Master Mojo, Matt, Robin, and Westy. Thank you to all who ran, voted, and participated in governance this past epic, and congratulations to our newly elected council members. Now on to our regular updates. Last week, the new Spartan Council started out by going over some work in progress updates. As far as highlights go, SNXchain mainnet has been deployed, along with cross-chain governance. As we know, Governance v3 was deployed on SNXchain, where the recent election was hosted. Multi-collateral perps is on Arbitrum mainnet with small caps, and the CCs are working with Quenta on the UX to go live for integrators as early as October 11th. The v3 migration is still in a soft launch phase, with 2 million SNX migrated so far, in addition to the Treasury Council. Testnet is also being finalized for L1 perps, and the requirements are being prepared for a mainnet release, targeting a launch date of October 16th, but the team is still working on finding integration partners. And lastly, the LP app update to support yield-generating collateral is stable with a target launch of September 30th. Next, there was one SIP presentation last week, SIP 408 for Synthetics Referendum Mechanism, presented by Fenway, so let's briefly review it. This SIP proposes introducing a mechanism by which specific changes or upgrades could be put to a token holder vote, rather than being voted on by the Spartan Council, which is a representative governance body. Quorum would require voter participation of 75 million SNX, with 67% voting in favor for a referendum to pass, and a voting window of 7 days. 75 million SNX is approximately 50% of all staked tokens and 25% of all circulating tokens, not including those held by the Treasury Council. 75 million SNX also represents 400% of the voter participation in the most recent Spartan Council election. There is some discussion as to whether this mechanism should include all token holders or be limited only to stakers. There is some agreement that directionally, all token holders should have a vote or at least be counted as one token, one vote for the purposes of quorum. Cav also drew comparisons to shareholder voting in other corporate governance structures. FIF, however, highlighted that much of the unstaked SNX is sitting on centralized exchanges, and it's unclear how many of those holders would be willing to take all the steps necessary to vote on chain, therefore making it difficult to calibrate this process based on total outstanding SNX holders. Fenway explained that the Treasury and centralized exchange wallets holding SNX on behalf of other users would not be counted towards the quorum. Another question was raised about repeat referendum proposals on the same issue. Although not specified in the SIP, Fenway acknowledged that there should be some cooldown period before putting the same issue up for a referendum vote, possibly 6 months or at the discretion of the Spartan Council. Bert highlighted that since this is being introduced via meta-governance, it would technically be possible for a sitting Spartan Council to alter the referendum process by unanimous vote in response to a referendum. Fenway agreed that this would not be aligned with the spirit of a referendum vote, where the intention is to give the community the opportunity to override Spartan Council decisions. He will add a note that states any changes to the process would be temporarily paused during a referendum to avoid this. FIF suggested adding language about a minimum support threshold before anything gets put to a vote. 10 million SNX, for example, being required in initial support before a change could be put to an actual token holder vote that requires the higher quorum standard of 75 million SNX. At the end of the call, the Spartan Council generally voiced support on the direction of the SIP, but agreed to hash out the details asynchronously regarding minimum support requirements, quorum, and staked versus unstaked votes. And that's it for today's updates. Be sure to check out our weekly recap blog post, share this podcast link, and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear more about from SNXweave. Thanks for listening.